think, act, and prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Now, Michael Saylor has me wanting to invest more in Bitcoin. So you guys know what it is. It's the Money Level Show, and today we're going to think, act, and prosper. And today I just want to talk about this debate that was with Michael Saylor and Frank Giustra that was hosted by Stansberry Research and Daniela Combone. And so this was a cool debate. You know, I felt like it was less of a gold versus Bitcoin debate. I felt there was more of a case for Bitcoin and a case against Bitcoin debate, as Frank really went after some of Michael's ideas, Michael Saylor's opinions, and things that he goes around and he teaches the institutional investors and things like that. And so I felt that it was less of a case for gold, but more of a why buy Bitcoin or why not buy Bitcoin debate. So that was kind of just my initial opinion on it, but we're going to dive into just a little bit of it because Michael Saylor did some mic drops in this debate. And so he's very educated. He does a lot of research, and he knows his stuff. And so I respect that. And I'm also a person that likes Bitcoin and invests in Bitcoin. I'm more of a gold person, but Michael Saylor definitely shifts my perspective to being, okay, I need to build my Bitcoin position even more. And so let's dive into this. Let's hear what he has to say about the risks of gold and what are the risk factors of owning gold. And so we're going to listen to that right now.
Thank you, Michael. And you'll get a chance to speak more about this because I'm sticking to this topic here under risks in your question. PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel has said that Bitcoin could be used as a financial weapon against the U.S. and that it threatens, fiat money, but it especially threatens the U.S. dollar. So, if it is a real threat, why isn't it conceivable? Why couldn't we see the Fed and other central banks stop Bitcoin? You have 5 minutes to continue your point here.
I think Thiel's comments were misinterpreted. What he was saying is it's going to be the base layer for the 21st century fintech economy. The lieutenant governor of the Chinese central bank just embraced it as an asset, not as a currency, and said, under proper regulatory regimes, it would be appropriate for an investor to own Bitcoin. So I think the sentiment is evolving amongst leading politicians. Risk factors. Here's my thought about risk factors. Gold invites violence. Alexander, gallivanted around the world to seize gold. Livy tells the story of 1,000 Roman sieges in order to steal the gold. Caesar sacked Gaul to take their gold. Kublai Khan seized the gold. Pizarro seized gold from the Incas. Cortez seized gold from the Aztecs. Charles I seized the gold from all the British nobles. The Prussians seized gold from the French in 1871. In World War I, everybody seized the gold. Lenin seized gold from the church in 1922. Roosevelt seized everybody's gold in 1933. Stalin seized the gold of the Spaniards in 1936. Churchill took everybody's gold in 1940 at the onset of the war. At Bretton Woods, the United States seized the world's gold and then, took it hostage. And then Nixon killed all the hostages in 1971. Gold's always getting seized. The problem is you can't secure gold. The cost to secure it goes up with the number of nodes or caches of gold, the value of the gold in the cache. It's regulated. You have to secure it with guns, people, steel, concrete, carbon. It doesn't scale. If you want to stress test it, you ask yourself the question, when I give this thing to 5 billion people, how much is it going to cost me? So gold transportation costs don't scale because the more transactions, the more the value of the transactions, the more jurisdictions, brings more cost and more regulation, and you need guns, people, vehicles, and carbon is too expensive for most transactions. Gold audit won't scale because the more nodes, the more transactions, the more value, the more cost, and the regulators get involved. It's very people intensive. It's infrequent, slow, it's unreliable. It's a risk factor. Gold security, transport, and audit are regulated by every nodal jurisdiction. They're corruptible, they're uncompetitive, they're antiquated, they're elitist, they're ineffective, and they're out of reach for 99.9% of the population. The gold applications, what we call paper gold, they don't have any technical protocol with integrity, so they're all corrupted by hypothecation, regulation, and inflation. Bitcoin security, transport, and audit are pretty effectively free. They're effective, they're unregulated, they're egalitarian. Everybody has the same rights. A person with $100 of Bitcoin has the same security as someone with $1 billion of Bitcoin. There's competition to continually improve the services. They're decentralized. The security nodes are decentralized, and they're protecting the interest of the holders from local violence, local regulation, and local corruption. Is the Bitcoin miner in Iceland or the North Pole or Siberia or China protecting the interests of somebody in Manhattan or Ontario? And it's a beautiful thing. Gold's physicality and indestructible nature, they invite malefactors to kill you and take your property. Bitcoin safely stores your property in cyberspace where it can't be seized by force, and that encourages peaceful negotiations rather than coercion.
Now, that's a lot to unpack in there, and I felt that Michael Saylor definitely dropped the mic with that. Gold has been tied to a lot of violence. Obviously, he's laid out a bunch of historical references to where gold has been confiscated, gold has been, definitely murdered for, and things like that. And he's right. He's definitely right. I mean, and that's money in general, and I think that's just human nature, but he's right. And so that it was a good point that he made, but then he also talked about just how much energy, how much manpower, concrete, resources, all these things that are needed to store gold, that are needed to protect gold. And then he goes into the paper market, which is like the stock market, and all these contracts and futures and stuff, and how there's a lot of corruption there. So Michael Saylor definitely made some big points there as the reason to why he is for Bitcoin and why he is against gold. Now, he then goes into Bitcoin and talking about how everyone has the same rights. Everyone is protected as it's decentralized, and you can't have people that come in and steal your Bitcoin. Now, if you have a hardware wallet, depending on which one you have, I personally have a ledger where it's 24-word phrase that is needed to get into the account, that is needed to get into my ledger to get my Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin definitely has risk as far as like it can be lost in cyberspace and things like that. But, it isn't something where someone can come into your home and physically take what you have, as Michael Saylor mentioned in those previous instances throughout history where people were able to go into your house and take everything that you had. Now with Bitcoin, that's not able to happen because it is stored in cyberspace and it is protected by different miners and people all around the world, where everyone has the same rights, whether it's me or someone who is a $1 billion investor in Bitcoin. We all have the same rights. And so Michael Saylor definitely gave some big points, some good points as to why we should own Bitcoin. And so here, this is a very polarized debate because it is gold versus Bitcoin, one or the other, which has been very popular. And we've seen a lot of things, happen in this space and a lot of arguments. And I think that Frank made some good points throughout his argument in the video and in the debate. However, I think that I want to see Peter Schiff and Michael Saylor debate. I want to see two of the big head honchos of Bitcoin and gold debate. I mean, Peter Schiff is very good at debating. He has some good points as well. And so I want to see those two go at it. However, Frank definitely, I think he made some good points. I think that I learned some things from him, but I thought that his argument was more of against Bitcoin rather than for gold. And so he wasn't really arguing the case for gold. He was more arguing against Bitcoin. And so he challenged Michael Saylor a lot on a lot of his ideas and things like that about Bitcoin and his objections to Bitcoin versus, why you should own gold. He did touch on it a little bit, but I felt like it wasn't enough. So I definitely give Michael Saylor this debate. I think that he came very educated. He came very well researched. He had history down to the T. He definitely knows this stuff. And so I think he's a very brilliant man. And he definitely convinced me as to why I need to buy more Bitcoin, because I have mostly gold and stocks, but I have some Bitcoin, but I need to buy more. And so I'm definitely going to do that. And I think that Michael Saylor definitely made his case for me to buy more Bitcoin. I'm still not convinced enough to where I'm going to go all in on Bitcoin or have more Bitcoin than gold, but I'm definitely going to make some steps towards increasing my position in Bitcoin. So I hope this was helpful for you all. I left that link in the description for you all to check it out. Be sure to comment below some of the things that you think Michael Saylor mentioned in this little clip that we showed today. And what are your thoughts? If you went and watched the debate, what are your thoughts on it? You know, I would love to hear your thoughts. And then also be sure to go check out the full video, and it's some good stuff in there. It's some good stuff that you can learn and everything like that. So I hope that you all check that out. I want to thank you all for joining me today, and you all have a blessed day. Peace.